Howdy everybody. Hey. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tyler Slinger. I write an awfully neglected blog called Stuff Libertarians Like. I think it was updated maybe 3 months ago, so you can go there if you want some other entertaining information. So the topic today is freedom as a self-improvement project. I think many of you may have signed up for Jeffrey Tucker's Liberty.me, where freedom is a do-it-yourself project, but as you may have found, it's mostly libertarians, anarchists, agorists, trying to convince one another that they're right, they hold the one true freedom, and they are going to beat anybody else that doesn't necessarily agree. I think that people in general, not only libertarians or freedom lovers, whatever you call them, spend most of their lives trying to convince other people that freedom is a good idea. And I think that unfortunately this method is backwards. We should really be spending the vast majority of our time working on ourselves. In contrast, what normal people do, or average people do, people on the street, common man, does, is he tries to use politics to change other people's minds. And this sort of focus, this sort of methodology, puts the focus on the wrong area. It puts the focus on other people rather than on ourselves. Leonard Read wrote a very interesting book called Talking to Myself. And I liked it not only because of the title, I think I talk to myself, a lot of people do as well. The subhead was actually the really catch to it. And it said, Talking to Myself is the title. The subhead is, the only person with which I've been commissioned to save. And I really thought that was a very powerful idea, that we can't really save anybody else in the world. We can only save ourselves. And while most people are spending their time at either political conventions or even going door to door talking to one another, spending their resources and their time, their energy, not spending time with their kids and not spending time with their families, spending time with complete strangers that they don't really enjoy, they're losing something. So I've got good news and bad news for you. The bad news is that I'm putting the ball into each and every one of your courts today. And you're not going to be able to send it back or take it back. There's no return policy on this ball. The good news is that I have, in giving you this ball, this burden, I've put you 100% in control of the freedom that this world will have. 100% of the outcomes that we're going to see is going to be the outcomes that you generate, not the people that you convince to hope to come along with us. It's not easy. The state is easy. Violence is easy. Going to the government is a chicken shit way out, honestly. It requires no compromise, it requires no skills, and it really requires no humanity. Like I said though, the good part is that you, each and every one of us, is 100% in control of the outcomes that we have. And that's all that's necessary for freedom. If you want to have peaceful children, you're going to have to spend time raising them to be peaceful people. If you want a world that doesn't use violence to resolve problems, then we have to resolve our problems peacefully. So if you have a neighbor that you disagree with because they have lemon trees on your, next to your yard, or that they throw baseballs into your yard, you don't call the cops. You go over there and say, hey dude, I don't like this. What sort of compromise can we come to? If you want to have money in your bank account, you're going to have to be fiscally responsible. You're going to have to do those things and make the sacrifices in your day-to-day life that comes out with having dollars left over. You can't live paycheck to paycheck. You're going to have to, there's a little hustle involved with this, right? Like I said, I put a little bit of a burden on you. You're going to have to hustle if you want money in the bank account. You may not be able to just get by with the 9 to 5. So there are two upswings to this as well. On top of being great news that I've told you, that you're 100% in control. One is that you personally benefit from all decisions you make. If you choose to be fiscally responsible with your money, you're going to have money in your bank account. If you choose to raise your children peacefully, you're going to have great kids that grow up and they love you and they're not going to try to stuff you into a nursing home. It's a great benefit, don't you think? The other thing, and the secondary benefit of this, is that you actually become persuading to other people. People are going to look to you, they're going to see you, and they're going to see things that they want. They don't want to be you, but they want peaceful kids. They want kids that love them. They want money in their bank. They don't want to have to worry about their future. And when you've secured these things, other people are going to start asking the question, how do I get that? What is this thing that this individual has, and how can I have that for myself? And they're not going to care about the politics. They're not going to care about your stance on marijuana, drug use, prostitution, taxes. They don't care. They just want what you have. And they want to know how you can give it to them. So how do you get there? How do each and every single one of us get there? And I've already kind of tipped you off a little bit on how you do that. And you're going to model behavior from people that already are doing this. People who are already fiscally responsible, people who already have raised peaceful kids. You're going to go and watch them, observe them, take it in, make friends with them, cultivate a relationship with them, and learn from them. And hopefully some of that intelligence will wipe off on you, and we'll have that, and you'll be able to cultivate that yourself. But obviously, there may not be anybody who has the thing that you want yet, right? That's a very real possibility in the world we live in. There are people currently that the average person, the common man out there, is not going to be able to provide you everything you want. You may have to go to several different people in order to get those different qualities and qualities that you want, or that you wish to acquire. So if you can't model it, I would propose that you think of your life as an experiment in freedom. AgoraFest is an experiment in freedom. We have 3 days to come here. Maybe you don't live the most free the other 362 days out of the year, but for 3 days you get to be and you get to step out and try something new. Whether it be start a little business, a little entrepreneurial action, maybe you get to make some friends, maybe you're a little bit more outgoing. You get to cultivate those pieces of your personality that you think are valuable and that you want to, that you think would bring on a free society. The other thing is that in cultivating new friendships, you might find people that have those things that you want, right? There's everybody in this room that has some sort of skill, whether it be canning, candle making, gun reloading, shooting, whatever it is, that may have a skill that I think is quintessential to a free society. This is a great place to cultivate that relationship and that friendship, so we can get together the other 362 days out of the year and work on that. So the last question, and what I'll leave you with, is how do we know when we've succeeded? How do we know when our work is done, right? And I'll put our philosophy against any other philosophy any day of the year. If our philosophy is equally as valid as everybody else's, we ought to be willing to put it into the marketplace, which is part of our philosophy, right? Yeah? I'm not getting any head bumps, or did I accidentally step into the, okay, this isn't the state of Minnesota's Mark Dayton rally or anything like that, okay. Okay. So how do we know we're going to be successful? And I think it's actually kind of easy, right? Again, I've kind of given you the little breadcrumbs on there. You'll know you're successful when people start coming to you and asking you for stuff. Whether it be just to hang out with you, get together for a cup of coffee to go over an idea with them, ask you for a little bit of like mentorship on a skill or a subject that they don't necessarily know a lot about. And you then have that opportunity to do what you've asked others to do for you and to give back to them and to help them in their freedom journey, right? And the interesting thing with persuasion is that we can have the best arguments, and I think we do, obviously. But the logic behind it, and logic doesn't seem to penetrate the mind. Let that sink in for a second. Logic doesn't seem to penetrate the mind of most people. It's feelings and experience and friendships. It's as if they open up the gates of their hearts and their minds, and they let you in, regardless of what you're actually saying. So this has both, again, another responsibility for you, that you need to have cultivated your own garden in your own mind, so that when you share these things, you're doing it in a genuine and truthful fashion that's real to our philosophy. But you'll know that you've succeeded when people start to congregate to you and you start to share your ideas. Many of you have given talks. The other 10 talkers, obviously, we're already interested in what they have to say. So that's all I have for you. Thank you very much for your time.